Welcome once again, folks, to another session of Let's Chat with me, Meor Addelan. Today we have a serious issue to discuss about. It is about the mental health situation that is happening in Malaysia. With the pandemic that we are having right now, it seems that a lot more people are more affected with what is going on due to the fact that a lot of people have been losing jobs, they have been confined to their quarters, they can't interact with other human beings. It is definitely something that is of a concern. And to discuss about this mental health issues, I have with me a very good friend of mine who is the co-founder of Incitement. Ladies and gents, may I introduce to you Mr. Zikry Kholil. I would like to read out to you your post on Instagram stating about the mental health statistics. As of the 13th of October, we have about 15,000 cases of COVID-19, 155 COVID-19 related deaths, 500,000 Malaysians depressed, 424,000 Malaysian children experiencing mental health issues, and 465 recorded suicide attempts. Now, these numbers are really scary numbers, aren't they, Zikry?
Hey, absolutely. I mean, you don't want to have a population who is going deep down in a rabbit hole because it has some domino effect on how the community will be run. And we need these people, especially those who are in a specific group who are suffering the most, to be at least in a power where they are able to perform their daily lives and not to get distracted as much as possible, especially when everyone is trying to put on their survivor hat this year with all this COVID-19 stuff.
Yeah, it's all about the survival of the fittest, because at the end of the day, there's no denying the fact that, our economy has been really, really bad. Not just ours, the world economy for that matter, due to the fact of the pandemic of COVID-19 happening all around the world. People, as I mentioned, they have been losing jobs. They can't afford to, pay for the luxurious things that they had before. Even people, in the B40 specifically, these guys are sometimes dependent on day-to-day salary. Now, how has this impacted, as what you have seen, as what you have researched yourself? How severe is the problem for Malaysians, Zikry?
Well, the problem has been around for a while, but not at this magnitude. And again, when this article that was posted by NST mentioned 500,000 Malaysians, it's a mixture of those who are either clinically depressed or really showing their symptoms of depression. Though there's a lot of data that needs to be looked into this matter, but my sense of getting the understanding of this whole situation is more or less having discussions and talking to those who are on the grassroots level, who are trying to help the B40 communities, for example, or even the labor workers who have been affected, or even the refugees in this sense. And then they are the ones who are sharing some of these concerns. And that allows us to open up a way of trying to figure out on what other means can we try to help this out, especially those who are deeply affected. And this is where we are gathering on these issues. And it's not just me, like all other similar platforms like us are very much understanding of this new wave of mental illness that's it's popping out left and right.
Your community, your stakeholders, you have been actively trying to educate, trying to make this issue, trying to make this problem, as big as possible, because the fact that you want to highlight it to Malaysians. Granted, again, Zikry, you are not a psychologist, you are not a psychiatrist, but does this mean that you actually have that sense of responsibility, because the fact that you want to help these people who are in dire need of help?
I mean, the answer is absolutely yes. I mean, I think a lot of us, even who are the toughest of the toughest, someone said, like, you need to have that the mental stamina to overpower anything on every nose and every downs that you get. But not everyone has that. And I can just relate by the circle of friends I have, by some of my colleagues' friends. There were some implications. I wouldn't say depression, but there was some implications that they were really stressing the hell out of on trying to manage. and I can't imagine how this will be affected on those who are deeply being somewhat victimized by a lot of the intricacies of the economic downturn. And talking to a lot of the NGOs that's on the ground, even when the project has nothing to do with mental illness, they can see from the participation level has dropped, the motivational of wanting to getting help has becoming less. And that's one of the main qualitative studies that I've been able to gather. Well, not just me, but a collective of us from various platform providers and also corporate companies notice these trend.
This issue, this mental health issue, has been going on, in last 5 years or 10 years. In fact, why wasn't there anything that was done even before the pandemic hit the world? Why did it take so long for people to, open up their eyes and just say like, "Wow, we actually have a serious issue here"?
There's a lot of various factors here. I mean, there has been always this issue being around for a while. But like I mentioned earlier before our session, like the magnitude of it is larger than ever, and it's a lot to do with what we know is available. And for example, there's a lot of stigma around it, depending on the particular individual community. Nobody likes to seek help, and thinking that this guy must be either going through call it labeling them crazy, or labeling them like, oh, you toughen up, man up, or seek a religious teacher to help you, and these are the things that just hinders them to look for real help, which is, there are hotlines available. There are some quite a number of NGOs who try to do as much as they can to help and cater to those who are depressed. But this pandemic of COVID-19 just became the catalyzer of that, and now we are seeing quite, whether it's reported or and these are reported cases. We don't know how much of it has gone unreported, and that is something that we all are quite curious about, just to see how this prolongs. But I do know that there are some efforts, but from the government level to also but majority are coming from the grassroots, who are trying to report these things to the correct institutions who can take note on this matter. So yeah, and that's I guess people in the urban cities like Kuala Lumpur, these things have gotten a bit addressed properly. But if you were to go beyond Klang Valley, people who are living in other states, the availability of for them to seek help, or even the safe space for them to able to say these things that they do need help. It's not being welcome as much to either family members or friends compared to the people that we know here in Kuala Lumpur.
We have more than 400 cases of suicide attempt. Did it take that large of a number to then knock on other people's head and realize that, wow, we have an issue here? Are we that ignorant?
Well, that's a very, very thought-provocative question there, right there. But I do not know how whether we're ignorant or not. I think people just look at prioritizing what is more important, saving the economy or saving the social economy. So you have all these kind of players, but there's a check and balance for sure. And the fact that I actually in this matter, I look more at the number of people reported that they think they are clinically depressed more than the suicidal rates, simply because prevention is the best cure. We can't just allow this to happen, and there's a lot of factors to this, because it can just be the jobs that themselves are the reasons why it's that they are having some issues with this whole problem. But there's other external factors that plays a part, like how social media nowadays, so much depressing news that we see every day. That's another external factor that could play that part as well. We just don't know how far it has been, especially for the younger generation. And at the end of the day, it's to really address, to have that check and balance, because yes, we are prioritizing a lot on COVID-19. I'm not saying it's as important as looking at the mental health, but we have to try and balance out to look at what kind of other kind of worms has this pandemic caused, because that, other than the economic factor, there's also that these issues of people having some form of mental illness or depression or whatsoever. So this has to somewhat get addressed, I think, more firmly, and to do the best of this is to do more awareness.
Now, you from the incitement, what are the kind of executions that you guys are looking into to be able to not just talk the talk, but to actually walk the talk and making some changes, Zikry?
I mean, there's a lot of grassroots level communities, movements, programs, initiatives, NGOs who are already addressing this indirectly with their program. And in order for them to where we come in is to help facilitate that by creating as much awareness as possible to get the people to have their buy-in, and also the fact that they do struggle to get resources because most corporate companies or brands, they have a different focus, right? So a lot of the programs that we try to help is trying to get them to also talk about it to us through our channels, and we do our best to market and educate corporate donors or individual donors to look at them as a high sensitive issue on how this is pretty much a trickle effect on the node. So this is what incitement do best. Try to create as much awareness through our technology platform, do best at making sure that there's accountability being done, and also the transparency of the project, so that you know exactly what or get updates even to see the progress of how such a project is trying to really take action on addressing this. It may take long, you know, it could take 6 months to a year to somewhat help that one person to recover or get well. So, and the sooner the sooner we do this, the better that we could address it.
Should people want to make that change, how's the incitement able to help them out?
We are running a campaign right now to help as many B40 communities who are impacted, whether if it's from the previous lockdown or the current CMCO or the previous CMCO. And this campaign is run on our platform on www.theincitement.com. Anyone with the heart of wanting to share or even donate as little as 10 ringgit makes a huge difference. And we have all those related projects listed there, and you can have a view for yourself. And our mantra here is all about transparency and accountability. So we don't want you to just be sharing and donating and thinking that, you know, something will happen. We will also share the updates because that's the other thing that we want people to be aware of, that you are also involved in something and helping the needy through your actions. And we want you to know what happened after you have contributed in that sense. So by all means, if you're there, we'd love to have you play that part and show some compassion to the rest of the years, because all we gotta do is just survive, and hopefully 2021 will be a much more better, prosperous year. So,
but should you guys want to help, definitely go check out the incitement. They have a lot of things happening. Part of it is actually helping out the mental health issue, depression cases, where you could actually make a difference as well. Zikry, Kholil, thank you so much for coming on down to the show. Really insightful, and we do hope the best for the incitement and for the great cause that you guys are handling. Take care. Thank you. All right. So that was Zikry talking to us about it is very important for us to not neglect, but also give as much attention as you can, especially to your loved ones, if not the people around you. Because again, in these testing times, it is difficult for you to actually identify anyone who's depressed. All you need to do is just go talk to them, you know, show some love. And if you are having depression, you know, seek help, seek professional help. There's hotlines for you to call. You know, try to make your life as merry as you can. Try to make it as good as you can. It may be difficult, but always one step at a time. That's all for this edition, folks. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Hope to see you guys again next time. Take care now. Bye-bye.